China is trying to shed its notoriety as a hub for counterfeit goods, a battleground in an ongoing trade dispute with the United States, which is threatening to hit Chinese electronics and other high-end industry with steep tariffs for the theft of intellectual property. The Shenzhen government has doled out $145 million in grants to lure thousands of Chinese and foreign entrepreneurs, and tens of millions more to fund maker spaces and activities to encourage innovation. At the MG space, a wall is covered by shelves with meticulously labeled bins containing assorted pieces of wood and foam, circuit boards, wires, soldering kits, plastic parts, and joiners for communal use. Once their blueprints are ready, the makers send their plans to a 3D printer and laser cutter to make their designs a reality. Yu Lingyu, vice manager of MG Space, which is privately funded, said it is important to give children and youth opportunities to collaborate on projects with professionals. Fighting copycat culture, makers pride themselves on coming up with new ideas, and they expect fellow makers to give them due credit for inventions. This is a departure from the so-called Shanzai culture in China, where counterfeiters produce increasingly high-quality replicas of everything from computers to handbags to famous paintings. Shenzhen went from being a manufacturing hub for mainly foreign firms to making mobile phones, drones, and other gadgets for Chinese firms and start UPS. But a survey of U.S. businesses by the American Chamber of Commerce shows IP infringement continues to be a top challenge for some in China, citing inadequate laws and difficulty prosecuting cases. Intellectual property issues have vexed Chinese companies, too. New IP courts have been created to stop the thefts. In China, trends spring up and companies copy each other. Especially for cases where the ideas require a low level of technology, it's hard to say who came up with it first, said Wu Nan, founder of Altech Asia, which tracks Chinese technology trends. Matthew Murphy, managing partner at the Beijing-based MMLC firm, which specializes in IP, says there are too many obstacles to bringing cases to court. Hacking the subsidy game. Another problem is that the wealth of government subsidies available can lead to a concentration of start UPS in areas where there isn't enough demand, critics say. Christopher Balding, economics professor at Peking University in Shenzhen, has observed entrepreneurs making decisions based on what subsidies are available regardless of whether the company actually intended to bring their proposed products to market. For example, the government decided that robots were a big thing and there was a lot of funding, so everyone began making robots. While there is significant new robot adoption in China, Beijing is investing vastly more than needed, Balding said. Some say public funds for makers are not being wisely spent. Maker spaces get so much money from the government and they're competing with each other for members, but there are so many that some are completely empty, Wu said. James Simpson, founder of the private Steamhead Makers Education Hub in Shenzhen, said there are enough maker spaces now and the priority should be to get people to use them. In China, there is huge interest and an increasing number of resources to turn creative skills into a sustainable business, but not so many chances for people to have interactions to access new experiences and learn from others, he said. But the satisfied parents and kids at MG Space are more optimistic about China's innovative skills. China has come a long way from rote learning in all the schools, especially here in Shenzhen where teachers really want to give kids practical skills, said Yang Hong, a mother of two. I like to make stuff, said her daughter, 8-year-old Yao Ziro. I don't know the job I want yet, but I just want to have fun.